My name is Stephen Ashby. I'm the director of the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. So good morning, and thank you all for joining us. What a glorious day for the celebration. We appreciate your attendance and support as we celebrate a milestone that so many of you helped to make possible: the dedication and opening of the Grid Storage Launch Pad. Funded by the Department of Energy's Office of Electricity and built in partnership with the Office of Science, this new national capability will accelerate the development of energy storage solutions critical to enhancing grid resiliency and realizing our shared vision for a clean energy future. It is an honor to have several senior DOE leaders participating today, including Undersecretary for Science and Innovation, Jerry Richmond, Assistant Secretary for the Office of Electricity, Gene Rodriguez, and Acting Director for the Office of Science, Harriet Kung. I also wish to acknowledge the presence of former Deputy Secretary Mark Menzies and former Assistant Secretary of Energy, Bruce Walker, both of whom were early advocates for the GSL. In addition to strong DOE support, the GSL enjoyed bipartisan support from Washington State's federal and state elected officials. We are particularly grateful to our two U.S. Senators, Maria Cantwell and Patty Murray, and to our local Congressman, Dan Newhouse. They were instrumental to providing $75 million in federal funding for this terrific facility. Our elected officials in Olympia, led by former State Senator Sharon Brown and current State Senator Matt Benke, as well as Governor Inslee and the Washington State Department of Commerce, also provided much needed support, including $8.3 million for state-of-the-art equipment that will be housed in the GSL. So please join me in thanking these outstanding public servants for the essential roles they played in making GSL a reality. The GSL will complement other world-leading facilities at PNNL that are collectively dedicated to promoting sustainable and clean energy future for all of us. These include the Energy Sciences Center next door and the Electricity Infrastructure Operations Center across the street. More important, the GSL will house some of the world's most accomplished scientists and engineers from PNNL, other national laboratories, academia, and industry, working together to develop real-world solutions that will benefit our nation and the world. The GSL will enable these researchers to explore new approaches to energy storage and test them at scale, from fundamental materials discovery to 100 kilowatt scale battery systems. We're also excited about the role that GSL will play in educating the future energy storage workforce. Hundreds of interns and postdocs will begin their professional journeys at the GSL, including, perhaps, a future Nobel laureate or even energy secretary. And finally, before we get to the rest of our program, I wish to acknowledge those who built this wonderful facility. They are the dedicated professionals who turn vision into reality, often toiling behind the scenes to transform the promise of the GSL into the beautiful building before us. In particular, I wish to acknowledge Terry Lee, the Office of Electricity's Chief Operating Officer, and Ron Gallagher, the Office of Science's Federal Program Manager, for their efforts. Please applaud these people for the work they've done. I also wish to acknowledge our general contractor, Harvey Cleary Builders, and the PNNL Facilities and Infrastructure team for their hard work over the past few years. They built this facility during a pandemic and did so safely, ahead of schedule, and within allocated funds. Please recognize them with your applause. And I know there's so many people out there who deserve to be recognized. You should all be proud of the roles you played in bringing the GSL to fruition. I thank you all for your dedication and perseverance. This facility would not exist without you, so thank you very much. Now, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Julie Turner, the manager of DOE's Pacific Northwest Site Office, which oversees PNNL. Julie and your colleagues were central to making the GSL a reality. Julie.
Thank you, Steve. On behalf of the Department of Energy's Pacific Northwest Site Office, welcome to the Grid Storage Launchpad. This facility has been a dream in the making for almost a decade, and it wouldn't have happened without many of the folks here today. I'd like to first thank the leadership and team from the Office of Electricity and acknowledge the support from the state of Washington and Battelle Memorial Institute, for whose funding and support made this project possible. I'd also like to recognize our leadership from the Office of Science and thank them for their support throughout the project process, from inception to the events of today. Harriet, we're so glad you can make it today. Finally, I'd like to thank our team at the site office, who have diligently engaged in this effort day after day, ensuring the facility becomes a contributing factor in addressing our nation's battery and energy storage needs. We're looking forward to the future research and discoveries that lie ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. I now have the pleasure of introducing Maria Cantwell, U.S. Senator for the state of Washington. Senator Cantwell is a leader among her colleagues on science and technology issues, spearheading efforts in Congress as chair of the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee to strengthen U.S. competitiveness through stronger investments across federal agencies, including the Milestone CHIPS Act. Senator Cantwell joined us for the GSL groundbreaking and has returned today to bring her support full circle. Please join me in welcoming Senator Maria Cantwell to the podium.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Dr. Ashby, for that introduction, and most importantly, for your vision and your continued support to getting the launch pad not just out on a blackboard, but now in reality. I want to thank all the people that are here from DOE, but specifically, I want to thank Dr. Richmond, Jean Rodriguez, and Dr. Kong for their great work in understanding that DOE, should bet on the Tri-Cities, because if you bet on the Tri-Cities, they'll deliver when it comes to electricity and storage. I want to thank all the local legislators that are here. I think Teresa Richardson got a shout out as our mayor, but Matt Banky, thank you for understanding what needed to happen in Olympia. Stephanie Barnard, April Connors, Mary Dye, Perry Dozier, and Mark Clicker. Thank you guys for all understanding that this is a partnership between the state and federal government. But I also want to thank everybody at the lab for competing and winning this competition, and now delivering. That is because we know wind and solar may be the cheapest forms of electricity. It's not always windy and sunny, although today the wind is doing its really good job. Grid storage needs to be there to fill the gap. And grid energy storage can change renewables and the generation and discharge during this very high demand. And we know one thing about our state, it's continuing to grow. So grid storage allows more wind and solar to be integrated into the grid. And the Northwest reliability to provide that clean source of energy will be, as it has been in the past, one of the big drivers of the Washington economy. In part, we have been able to lead in aviation, manufacturing, information technology, agriculture, and now data centers, all because we know how to provide cheap, affordable electricity, and we want to keep doing it. Statewide, Washington employs almost 80,000 people working in clean energy and grid storage. Moses Lake, Group 14, and SELA are building a large manufacturing plant that will provide hundreds of good-paying jobs. But guess what they're counting on? They're counting on cheap, reliable, clean energy that grid storage will help provide. If we want to make the next generation of batteries, we need the energy storage advancements that are here with the brightest minds at PNNL to show that this is the same project, just really working together. And discovering new and more efficient materials that are faster, cheaper, by going from computing, modeling, to prototyping, to testing, and under realistic grid conditions. That's literally what we're doing here, realistic grid conditions. By partnering with industry to speed this innovation, the transfer of government funds of R&D into practical applications, this facility will help ensure the advancements in energy storage that really do translate to the private sector, creating new innovative battery products as well as dependable manufacturing jobs. So we're very happy that $75 million was invested federally into this project. We are so happy that this technology will be a leader in helping the United States with our future milestones. And as somebody that was very involved with chips manufacturing and the CHIPS bill, I can tell you that motto above us here, validate, accelerate, collaborate, and educate. That's exactly what's happening here, and it is also a model for all the technology transfer that we need to continue to do to make sure that our nation is competitive in manufacturing. So thank you again, PNNL and DOE, for helping us help lead the nation in solving a very big challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Cantwell. Though Senator Murray could not be here today, we appreciate Legislative Assistant Jason Edwards joining us to share some of her remarks. Please welcome Jason Edwards.
Hi all, I'm thrilled to send you my congratulations as you celebrate the dedication of the Grid Storage Launchpad. GSL is another arrow in PNNL's already impressive quiver, giving the Department of Energy capabilities that will help push the envelope for energy storage and keep the U.S. on the cutting edge of the technologies of tomorrow. The testing and validation that take place at GSL will accelerate development and then deployment of the next generation of batteries. That means safer and more durable batteries, more efficient and effective chemistries, and lower costs. Better batteries will also give consumers, from utilities to anyone buying a car, the certainty they need to make important investments. The big picture here is exciting because those batteries are going to truly revolutionize our grid and our transportation systems in ways that will make our economy stronger for everyone. From materials science to battery integration, GSL will play a key role in helping us address major energy challenges of our time. And some of these technologies will ensure the grid is reliable and resilient, improve domestic energy security, and make sure we can reduce emissions and avoid the worst impacts of climate change. GSL has been a long time in the making. Back in 2019, as a senior member of the Senate Appropriations Committee, I started securing what would add up to $75 million in federal funding for PNNL to build this state-of-the-art facility. Now, as chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee, I'm fighting to make sure that GSL has funding to operate along with so many other important priorities for PNNL and the Department of Energy. A big thank you and congratulations to Director Ashby and the great teams at PNNL, DOE, and Battelle for completing this project and putting this dedication together. I applaud you for your hard work.
Thank you very much. Senator Murray truly has been a great advocate for PNNL, the Hanford Cleanup Mission, and Central Washington. So thank you, Jason, for sharing her remarks with us today. I'm now pleased to introduce Ashley Stubbs, the Deputy Chief of Staff and District Director for Congressman Dan Newhouse. Congressman Newhouse also has been a great advocate for the laboratory while representing Washington's 4th District. He serves on the House Appropriations Committee, where he works tirelessly to advocate for his constituents and to secure vital federal support for our region, including the GSL. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Stubbs to the podium.
Well, thank you all for having me here. While Congressman Newhouse has asked me to send his regrets that he's not able to attend today, he also offers his congratulations and asks that I share a few words on his behalf. The tremendous benefit that PNNL has brought to the Tri-Cities, as well as the nation, has quickly become basically the worst kept secret. The Congressman and I both could not be more delighted to continue boasting around the nation how proud we are to have such an innovative 21st century leader rooted here in Central Washington. And PNNL, you are rooted here. PNNL continues to attract world-class talent with high-paying and high-skilled jobs. And your commitment to partnering with local leaders and invest in the Tri-Cities community, my community, our community, ensures that all those new Tri-Citians come here and they stay here. Today marks an incredible milestone in our nation's energy capabilities. As we continue to fight to restore American energy independence and decrease reliance on other nations for our energy needs, the Grid Storage Launchpad stands as a triumph in the efforts towards a clean, reliable, and secure energy grid. Congressman Newhouse speaks often about how Central Washington and even the Pacific Northwest as a whole is a hub for the all-of-the-above approach to energy production. But we all know the real hub leading the world is the Tri-Cities. Between the collaborative efforts of local stakeholders and the leadership of PNNL, the GSL reaffirms that how innovative we can truly be in our national capabilities. In fact, it's also no secret that this facility has quickly become the envy of all the national labs and research centers around the world. So kudos. We are very much looking forward to seeing the research that comes from GSL and how Congressman Newhouse can, on the federal level, continue to support the efforts here that lead the nation in grid technologies. Thank you for having me today, and please feel free to reach out to our office if we can ever be of assistance. Thank you.
Many thanks, Ashley, and to Congressman Newhouse for his message and support. I'm now pleased to introduce the Honorable Jerry Richmond, DOE Undersecretary for Science and Innovation. In this role, Dr. Richmond oversees DOE's fundamental and applied research, as well as 13 of its 17 national laboratories. Among her many notable achievements, Dr. Richmond served 2 terms as presidential appointee to the National Science Board, served on many national and international advisory boards, and is a career-long advocate for underrepresented groups in STEM fields. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Richmond to the podium.
It is indeed a great day. We are all charged up, right? Yeah, all right. No, it's really great. It's so great to be here. I'm so proud of what's happened here, this collaboration with the state of Washington and our DOE national laboratories. And I want to give a special shout out again to Senator Cantwell and also Senator Banky and all the congressional staff folks that are here that made this day a reality. But you know what? I also want to give a huge shout out to all the folks here that work at PNNL, and that includes all you folks back there too. So they are great. You know, they are the ones with the ideas, the ways that take us forward to really go after the most challenging problems that we have. And I am so pleased to be able to be overseeing so many of our national laboratories because they truly are the crown jewels of this country, of the national research landscape, working with companies and universities all over the country and the world to tackle the most difficult problems that we have. You know, the Department of Energy's mission is to ensure America's security and prosperity by addressing its energy, environmental, and security challenges that we have, and we've got a lot out there, but we're going to do it to make sure that we can have a transformative discovery, science, and innovation technology. What I've seen here at this facility and what I know about this facility, I know pretty deeply because of the fact I've spent over 40 years of my career being a chemist, doing a lot of electrochemistry in my life. So I understand how difficult these challenges are. But when I go into a facility where they're working on the little batteries that go into the salmon to monitor them as they float up the stream, I know this because I'm an Oregonian. I have to work in that other Washington in my day job. But also looking to see these incredible facilities for power electronics to put the stuff on the grid. You know, to have that in one facility where people can come in and test and try things and is just truly remarkable from my perspective. And as the Secretary of Energy always says, we are not just the Department of Energy, we're the solutions agency, because that's what we're all about, being able to create the kind of solutions that we need in order to address these challenges, and particularly in climate change. But it's also important for us to remember that whatever we do, whether it be in energy storage or anything else that we do, reaches every part of this country, every person in this country. In this job, I've had the opportunity to go to places that have been underserved for way too long. Having access to storage whether there's sunlight or wind, storage, to allow those tribes in Alaska to not just burn that fuel 24/7 that stinks up the town and is loud. I've seen what difference it makes to have storage capacity there. There is so much for us to do and to reach, again, every possible community that we can. So thank you. Thank you all, everyone here. Thank you for being here to celebrate with us, and thank you all for being committed to taking us forward to address the most challenging issues that we have today on climate change. We are charged up, okay?
Indeed, we are charged up. Thank you very much, Dr. Richmond. And now I'd like to introduce Gene Rodriguez, the DOE Assistant Secretary of Energy. Under his leadership, the Office of Electricity drives technological and operational advancements that ensure our nation's power grid remains reliable, resilient, secure, and affordable. He brings more than 3 decades of industry experience to DOE as a nationally recognized expert in clean energy policy and programs. We wish to thank him and the Office of Electricity for sponsoring this new national energy storage research capability at Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rodriguez to the podium.
Well, after Dr. Richmond's talk, I'm not just charged up, I'm fired up about today. And I'm fired up for a good reason, I think, because today marks a monumental and momentous milestone, a milestone of progress, a milestone of possibility, and a milestone, I got to come up with a third P now, a promise. So let's start. Oh, don't applaud that. Anyone can come up with 3 Ps, I think. But why is it a milestone of progress? Well, you can see by the ribbon dancing behind me, we are ready to do something that declares the Grid Storage Launchpad as open for business, open to fulfill its mission. Its mission is rooted in the possibility. Senator Cantwell, I think, eloquently put forward what the role of energy storage is to the reliability, resilience, security, affordability, equity, and decarbonization of America's grid and its economy that will allow us to continue our global leadership in clean energy. But it is also a milestone of possibility leading to a promise. And the promise is one that we all make. Every one of us in here, every one of us up there. Because this occasion and this facility brings together public and private sector, inventors, innovators, researchers, folks from the department and folks from the market to work together in collaboration. As Senator Cantwell pointed out, the word collaboration features prominently in the mission of this facility. This is not just a hub for innovation. This is a central point, a location, a fostering point for collaboration. So let us all today vow that although we dedicate and celebrate, we are here to start to collaborate. And that, my friends, I think is worthy of your applause for yourselves for your dedication to collaboration as we move forward together.
Someone get that man a cup of coffee. All right, so thank you, Gene. Next, please join me in welcoming Harriet Kung, the Acting Director of the Office of Science and Deputy Director for Science Programs. In this role, Dr. Kung provides scientific and management direction and oversight for the Office of Science Research Programs. She also stewards the fundamental chemistry, physics, and materials science research that will be conducted in this facility on behalf of DOE. We appreciate your leadership and support. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kung to the podium.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Let me add my heartfelt congratulations to the whole GSL team. This is such an exciting project, such an amazing accomplishment, and also want to echo what Dr. Richmond and Gene just said. The promise the GSL presents is tremendously exciting, but also tremendously timely, and tremendously important at this critical juncture. So as the Acting Director for Office of Science, I'm really happy to come here and celebrate with Gene such an amazing accomplishment. Our mission is to deliver scientific discoveries and major scientific tools to transform the nature, our understanding of nature, but also advancing the nation's mission in energy, in economic, and national security. But at the same time, we also take our stewardship, our 10 of the 17 DOE national labs very seriously, including PNNL, one of our crown jewels, as Dr. Richmond has just mentioned, as well as 28 world-class scientific user facilities. Within Office of Science, our program in basic energy sciences, especially advanced science innovation in critical topics such as energy storage, it is a key part of the sustained innovation cycle in DOE, from fundamental research to applied science to technology development and deployment, and all the way back to the next frontier of scientific discovery. Just across the way from us, a couple of Office of Science facilities, including the Environmental Molecular Science Laboratory, EMSL, which is host to some of the world's most advanced instruments and characterization modeling tools, and also the Energy Sciences Center, which contains laboratories and collaboration spaces that can facilitate interdisciplinary science relevant to a broad range of energy application, including the long duration energy storage. With the grid storage launch pad located just next door to the Office of Science facilities, the physical proximity of these world-class facilities and capabilities on the PNNL campus will further the magnification of the innovation cycle that Dr. Richmond and I and Gene also just shared with us. I'm very, very grateful for the decades of partnership with Office of Electricity, which I have enjoyed since my time serving as Associate Director for Basic Energy Sciences, and especially in recent years, that relationship has further deepened under Gene's at the helm of Office of Electricity. I'm especially pleased and proud to have the Office of Electricity's first ever major construction project to be cited at the Office of Science Steward at National Laboratory PNNL. So let's give all of you a big round of applause. I also want to take this opportunity to give a special shout out to the operations team in Office of Science and also the Pacific Northwest Side Office under Julie's leadership, whose dedication, unique expertise helped facilitate the project's completion. My understanding is that a year early and also with an impeccable safety records. Congratulations to you all. I cannot wait to see what the future will hold. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harriet. And now I'd like to welcome and introduce Washington State Senator Matt Benke. Senator Benke represents Washington's 8th Legislative District and serves on the Senate Environment, Energy, and Technology Committee. We appreciate his support for $8.3 million in state funding for GSL equipment while he was a House member. Please join me in welcoming Senator Benke.
Welcome. I guess I get to carry on that tradition of solutions-based people. So I get the honor today to welcome you to the great state of Washington. This is a solutions state. If you have the solutions department, you come to the right state to get solutions, to get the job done, to get the mission accomplished. Thank you, Senator Cantwell, Department of Energy partners, all of our friends and colleagues. I do get the honor and being humbled to speak on behalf of a newly formed House representative member, and maybe I was gullible, new to the job, that when PNNL came and approached me and said, we have this great idea about a building, we had no idea it was going to be what it is today. And then if you guys don't know and have read in the papers a little bit, politics is kind of hard. I would tell you that in any line of work, it's a little bit tough, but as a freshman legislator in the House, you got to build relationships and understand where you can affect change. And working with the team like PNNL, it's just an honor to represent the people of the Tri-City area, PNNL and the great researchers that we have to showcase what we can across the aisle, working in a bipartisan effort with our Department of Commerce colleagues as well to go after the solution that we see today. So I'm humbled and honored to share with you today a significant milestone in this journey that we didn't think was actually going to happen a couple years ago. I read through the emails that I got from my legislative assistants on what am I going to speak about today, and it's really about the opportunity of bringing together a community of researchers at academia, the community of people that elect us to work together toward grid reliability and understanding what a clean future looks like. Innovation is first and foremost in understanding what that means to not only the Northwest, but also the global environment that we're in. First and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Ashby and his team, but specifically a gentleman named Jim Jesernik, a former state legislator who was actually a Democrat, who helped lead me through and inspired me to navigate the complexities of what we call our political system today. And Melanie Roberts, who was a team member here at PNNL, who actually worked diligently in the hallways, in the different committee meetings, when we had questions where the really sexy stuff of government happens, where nobody knows about, in the hallways, in the late nights, when we're sitting there on the House floor as it moved over to the Senate where that was going on. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Senator Sharon Brown, who when I was in the House, she showed her leadership towards supporting clean energy initiatives and advocacy for the innovation of the Northwest, and her pivotal leadership today made this building possible. Working together with her throughout the legislative process, I battled in the House while she was working in the Senate. Coordinating that effort, I think, brought us that success we see today. And as we transition into this position as a state senator now, I'm committed to bringing that up with my colleagues to continue that effort, because it's not just start today. This continues what we're going to showcase to the rest of the labs, to the rest of the Department of Energy, and the rest of the world what we can do. Again, solutions state right here. They keep nodding, so hopefully you guys get that. Additionally, we owe our Washington State Department of Commerce, but our budget teams, and I want to thank former Speaker Frank Chopp and former Minority Leader J.T. Wilcox. Without their leadership, dedication of getting this through, and really understanding what the hell does a grid launch pad do. And I had to actually, I think, was tagged, being a science person myself as a professor in cybersecurity, was the technology lead of trying to explain to other politicians, what does grid science mean to them? And why is this important when you go into the battles of budget and the budgetary process? Again, you'll read the book a little bit later, but yeah, that's the sausage making we all love about the sexy part of government, right? This combined message helped us get that critical funding to showcase with Senator Cantwell and move that into the federal partners that we see here today. So as a state senator for the mighty 8th District, I'm honored, but a small, vital part of what we can do here in the state of Washington and what we do in the Northwest. Our district always shows itself as the energy capital of the Northwest, but with missions like this, the innovation to lead the world in solutions that sets the standard for global progress. Global progress in the event that continues to work with our researchers on solutions that we can see not only now, but into the future to solve a lot of the world's problems. It's an incredible honor to be here in this long history of the Tri-Cities, from what you see in the Cold War to what we see today, and then leading that next generation into the future. The Grid Storage Launchpad is a testament of that leadership and the combined efforts that we have committed to this energy excellence. This facility is not only just a building, it's a hub, as we mentioned before, of innovation collaborative. I hope it recruits people from around the world. And when you build it, they will come, and this is a standard that we're going to be seeing today. When researchers see what is going on in the world of energy and the energy supply that we're seeing, mark my words, we're going to start looking not only at these superstars behind us, but others that are not here today saying, I want to be a part of this. And they're going to build it here in Washington, then I want to be a part of that, fostering the great minds of not only now, but into the future. And you're going to read about us as we foster this innovation in the years to come. As we dedicate this building today, let us reaffirm our commitment to advance energy storage solutions that will power our future, together leading to a cleaner, more resilient energy we spoke of today. Thank you all again for my little small part of this, but on behalf of my colleagues in the state of Washington, it's truly an honor to be with you today. And again, congratulations to the GSL and PNNL team. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Banky. And I want to thank all the other members of the state legislature, as well as our local leaders, including Mayor Richardson, for all the support you provide us and for making this community such a wonderful place, for making this state such an attractor to innovators. So would you please give all our state and local officials a round of applause. It's also mentioned this is a partnership with the executive branch in Olympia, and now it's my pleasure to introduce Washington Commerce Director Mike Fong. Mr. Fong has served more than 20 years in the public sector, providing leadership and managing complex policy priorities. In his current appointment as Commerce Director, he is committed to supporting the agency's mission of strengthening communities and growing economic opportunity throughout our state. We appreciate his leadership and the Department of Commerce support in securing state funding for the GSL. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Fong.
Well, good morning, everybody. And, you know, I got to say, with an all-star lineup like this, it feels a little like batting 8th or 9th in the lineup. And I'm just hoping to get on base here so that Ashby can drive me home after this. But again, on behalf of Governor Inslee, and I channeling him, he would say this is just an incredible day for Washington and for Washingtonians. I mean, it's so exciting to see this project come together. I was out here maybe 6 months ago and had a chance to tour the facility while it was under construction, and it's always incredibly rewarding for me and my role as Commerce Director to see these investments come together and for them to come into fruition and realize such an incredible vision that so many folks have been involved in. Director Ashby has, I guess next year, will have led PNNL out here for one whole decade. And in looking back at his work, a couple years ago he did an interview with the Tri-City Business Journal. And he was asked, what are some of the biggest challenges you have in this role representing PNNL? And he remarked, one of the challenges, greatest challenges for the lab is really to be able to elevate and to bring a spotlight onto the incredible work that PNNL does in terms of research and marrying the work of academia with industry. And we got to do a better job to elevate and bring visibility to that work, that this is in fact a premier institution that will live an incredible lasting legacy for the Pacific Northwest. Well, Dr. Ashby, mission accomplished, my friend, mission accomplished. You know, we have been incredibly excited at the state of Washington and at the Department of Commerce. One aspect that we have really emphasized in our work this year and in recent past is just the incredible opportunity we have once in a generation in terms of leveraging opportunities from the state to the local level to the federal government. And we've heard from Senator Cantwell, Senator Murray's office, Congressman Newhouse, the federal funding and resources are unprecedented right now to help us move what is an incredible competitive advantage for Washington State at the forefront of the nation's effort in green economic transformation. And we are heartened that throughout today's commentary and speeches, there hasn't been a focus that's lost on the importance of equity and the need for, as we move towards this new green economic future, that the benefits of that accrue to everyone across this state. And energy storage is no different than everything else we do in this space to ensure that we're creating new opportunity and we ensure that everyone benefits from our green economic future. So again, joining Senator Banky, thank you for your leadership in the legislature and your colleagues, giving my department an opportunity to work closely with PNNL to make this a reality. Beyond the $8 million in direct appropriation funding, all told, we have partnered with over $23 million of resources with PNNL to advance research in this space. So we're looking forward to continuing our partnership and celebrating more wins in addition to the GSL. Thank you, everybody.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Fong, for those kind remarks and for acknowledging the great work of all of PNNL here. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce a colleague, Judd Verdon, who is the Associate Laboratory Director for Energy and Environment here at PNNL. Judd leads more than 1,700 talented staff members who are delivering science and technology solutions to address complex energy and environmental challenges, including modernizing the power grid, advancing energy storage technologies, and more. And it was Judd and his team who several years ago made the pitch that said, this is the kind of facility we need for the future of our nation, for the clean energy future. It was Judd's vision and that of his team that we're now celebrating today. So with that, join me in welcoming Judd Verdon to the podium.
Well, batting eighth is looking a little better than batting ninth, which is I'm doing. But I want to look forward to the future. Now this facility is going to be dedicated in just a couple of minutes and put it in context to what it is, because it is truly unique. We are going to be, when we cut that ribbon and it hits the ground, part of a world-class set of capabilities that the Department of Energy has built around the country. And those are facilities at Brookhaven National Lab in New York, Oak Ridge, Tennessee with Oak Ridge National Lab, Argonne National Lab in Illinois, Sandia in New Mexico, the National Renewable Energy Lab in Colorado, Idaho National Lab, I think it's in Idaho, SLAC National Accelerator Lab in California, and Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. And I want to thank all my friends and colleagues from all those labs that are here today, because we all together have just one mission that we have to accomplish. It's a really simple mission. We need to create a new understanding of battery materials that enable U.S. supply chain to produce a low-cost, high-performance, safe batteries for grid and transportation applications faster than we've ever done it before. We, in the National Lab System and our university partners in our industry, we have to be the best in the world at taking discovery science, moving it to the applied space, and getting it out in deployment. That's what we have to do. The incredible people standing on the balcony behind me are the people who are going to do that. I mean, look at those faces. Those people are smart. You know how I know that? They're in the shade. And we're not. They are the heart and soul of GSL. And if you don't know the people on the balcony, they represent some of the most highly cited scientists in the world. Top 1% highly cited scientists in the world. In the Tri-Cities, in Richland, Washington. They're putting us on the map. They have over 188 patents that are in process, 24 technologies that are licensed to U.S. industry and going out to the market. So I want to say thank you to everybody on the balcony for all that you have done and all that you're going to do. The expectations are really high, but we have to deliver. And us scientists and researchers, the generalizations are true. We're introverted and shy by nature. But at the reception, pick out a face, go ask them what they're doing. You know, we are so excited about the world-class science and the research we're doing. So at the reception, get to know our people, and let's cut that ribbon.
All right, well, thank you, Judd. And now I'd like to close by expressing my sincere gratitude to all who helped bring this world-class facility to life, and to all of you for taking time to participate in this celebration. Today marks another major step forward toward realizing our shared vision of a clean energy future that is sustainable for generations to come. Thank you all very much. Now, after a brief dedication ribbon-cutting ceremony here, I invite you to join us for a reception in the Energy Sciences Center lobby, which is right over here, short walk, where you can see and learn more about the exciting research and development that will be performed at GSL. And as Judd said, it's your opportunity to call her one of those researchers and ask what he or she is doing to make the world a better place. So now it's time to cut the ribbon. So will Julie Turner, Senator Cantwell, Jason, Ashley, Jerry, Jean, Harriet, Senator Banky, Mike, and Judd please join me up here to cut the ribbon. Andrea's going to direct us here. Yep. All right, everybody get a hand on there. Yeah. All right, Senator, is there a process for this? Like this goes?
Okay, wait a sec. No, no, no. We're not waiting. Okay.
He's done this before. All right, you got everybody?
Okay. Smile, Steve. All right, I'm ready.
Now can we do our business?
Yes, you can.
All right, 1, 2, 3.